This shift is upon us. It's happening all around, and you just have to open yourself up to it and not pay attention to the mainstream narrative. Okay? The mainstream, that pipeline is the last defense, the last remaining piece of arsenal that's fully, at least largely, and almost fully functional. And they're using it, mainstream media, even the alternative media. Everything that's in their grip is their weapon. And they're using it to skew and manipulate the narrative. But when you pay attention, as many of you do, to the alternative media and the things that you and I pay an awful lot of attention to, and you know the many shows and independent reporters and events that have been set up with whistleblowers and people speaking of their experiences and their connections, you know that this thing is really broad. It's really broad. But too many people are still caught up in, well, unless I hear it from the trusted news source that I've been listening to since I was a kid, it may or may not exist. I'll take it with a grain of salt. And pay attention to the mainstream, because you get an awful lot of clues what they focus on and what the deflections are, what they have you looking at are indicators. And then you compare that with what's happening with our news stream. And you see, you can begin to connect the dots. You know, follow the money, like they always say. That's really how you dig to the heart of what's happening with our manipulators, our still, but soon to be former landlords, and that whole cabal system. We've got a long way to go, but it's happening. Now, don't get illusions of what this is going to become. It's not going to look like some fantasy film where everything's bright and shiny and filled with fairies and elves and cute little aliens we're trying to phone home. It's not going to look like that. Our world is going to look much as it does now. It's us who change. Frequency is going to change on this planet, which will make things look a little bit brighter, and the sounds will be sweeter, and the way we communicate with one another is just going to be unlike anything we've ever known. But the world itself will look much as it does. It's going to be a situation where it's going to be, for those of us who are awake enough to feel it and to see beyond what we have, we're going to go, wow, things are different. Everybody else is going to be like, isn't it amazing what they could do today? And these new technologies, and there's going to be a changeover period that's going to take a little bit of time. But everything's going to look and feel natural, okay? Not supernatural. You have to be really awake. This has got to be wide open. This has got to be wide open. And those of us who are making that shift and are fully tapped in will go, yeah, this is different. Everybody else will just sort of be going along with the program, thinking, man, I'm glad we got those guys out of office, and oh yeah, they changed the laws and regulations, and we're cleaning up the environment, and we're going to get health technologies, and food will be clean, and people will just kind of ride that wave and feel like, yeah, this is a good time to be alive, but not like we're living in an alternate universe. And always gauge things by looking out your own front door. Okay, to make comparisons to what you encounter every day with what you are being told through the mainstream media, social media, and your friends talk to people in your family and see where they're at. If they're fully engaged in whatever the narrative is, then maybe you can present them with some new ideas. If they're closed off to it, that's fine, don't push. But you can always ask the question, yeah, but does this feel a little different? Does the moon look a little bit different? You know, things in the sky, you know, a little different than you remember when you were a kid? Do you believe that politician or that world leader? Are you into these pop stars that they keep parading in front of us? Are you actually a fan? You know, there's something going on within entertainment where, believe it or not, some of the biggest stars in the world are not as popular as you think they are. You just see them all the time. Even their lifestyle may not be the way they depict it. There's a lot of fakery going on with that. You can present an image in any way you want. All you got to do is proliferate it to the point where we all go, oh yeah, so-and-so's a superstar. Hype is hype, and that's always been a part of the system, but it's gone to a new level where it's just pure chicanery. So you can gauge what's actually going on just by talking to people around you, and not particularly on mainstream media, because there's an awful lot of that's not real. People paid to pretend that they're other people and boosting view counts and all of that, which is not accurate even in the slightest. It just looks like it because we rely on those numbers. You look at the numbers and you go, wow, 6 million views. Yeah, well, a lot of times that's not even the case. They don't get 1/10 of that. So keep your wits about you. Ponder what I'm saying. And we're all going to be okay no matter what. So don't panic. Don't freak. Just know in your heart that we're all good.